We are here at AnimeconUK Birmingham, halls 1 and 2 of the NEC. Welcome to Geeky Brummie and welcome to our adventures here at Animecon. We'll be wandering around, doing interviews, having a Hall from the Hall competition, and recording a quick podcast episode as well. So we'll be with you shortly. To the Geeky Brummie podcast. Joining me today, Mr. Keith Bloomfield.
Hello, Ryan.
Mr. Leigh Parish.
Hi.
How are we both?
Good.
Totally anime.
We are animeing out today, so we are at AnimeconUK. It's been a fun morning so far. Got a few interviews, run around, saw all the sites.
Bought a copy of the Necro Hamster.
Necro Hamster. Yeah. So what is the Necro Hamster?
It's a card game with some cool artwork. And the goal is to resurrect various undead creatures and raise them.
Main hamsters, or do we have gerbils?
There's hamsters. There's a rabbit when I open the box. So all sorts of things. I mostly bought it because the artwork is great. We do have an interview with the artist in the actual show. So.
Awesome. So all the small furry animals are being resurrected. Cool. Keith, any highlights you saw so far?
Just all the incredible cosplay. Although my anime knowledge is a bit lacking, I'm not up to date with a lot of the modern stuff.
What did you think was an anime, Keith?
I said Dogtanian. It was anime in the 1970s and 80s. It's fine.
I think it did have a Japanese production company, but I think it was a Franco-Japanese production.
It looked like anime.
It might be a Franco-Japanese production. Yeah. We shall put the real details on screen now.
Let's claim it, anime fans. Let's claim Dogtanian and the Muscle Hounds as anime. Let's just say we want it. No, but just the sheer genius of all the people that have come in costumes.
Yeah, some of the costumes you can see have taken months, not just weeks, months to put together. There's some really fantastic costumes out there. Yeah. Any particular favourites? Not Dogs Canyon.
No, too many to mention, really.
You know, you're just saying that because you don't know anyone's name.
Yeah. That looked cool. I have no idea who they are, but it looked great.
I've seen a few Vash the Stampedes wandering around. I've seen a few people in RPD, Raccoon City, dress up.
I've seen quite a few Hatsune Miku's running around, as always.
Yeah.
One guy that I did enjoy, we saw while we were at lunch, was a guy dressed as King Dedede from Kirby.
Yeah.
But he's King Dedede if he lost a lot of weight. It's just a guy with a normal build dressed as King Dedede.
I think my personal favourite so far is Clown Strife with Buster Sword, stood in the middle of Wetherspoon's unable to sit down because the sword is too big. It's been really good fun, some fantastic merchants, some fantastic interviews. You both have had a run around and grabbed some interviews, so we will cut to those now and we'll see you shortly. Hello, I am with Crystal, Ryan and Alison of the CyberPower team. Tell us about yourselves while you're here at Animecon today.
So we are CyberPower. We have brought the Cyber Bus with us today, which is full of gaming PCs. So people can come on for free and just play all the games that we've got on there, just to enjoy what we've got to offer in there. But CyberPower themselves, we do custom built gaming PCs. So we do pre-built ones as well. Yep. So we're just here to sort of spread the word about that. And get people to enjoy the show. Awesome. So is any kind of level of spec that you would suggest for an entry kind of PC? Everyone is different. And I know this sounds a bit of a cop-out, but honestly, everyone's different. Their budgets are different and what they use the gaming PCs for or what games they are. So honestly, all I would say is get in contact with us. Tell us what you're going to be playing the game on. What you're going to be gaming on the PC and how much you've got to spend. And we will put the perfect spec together for each person. Awesome. That is amazing. And so you've got a configurator on the website as well, I believe, if you know roughly what you're looking for. Yep, so we've got cyberpowersystem.co.uk is our website, and on there we've got a full configuration list so you can pick all the products that you want to be put on the PC. It is then built for you, packed and sent to you so that all you have to do is plug and play. We have people on the other end of the phone if you needed some advice, and they will talk you through anything you need to know as well, so to get you the right PC for you.
Brilliant. And where can people find you online?
CyberPowerSystem.co.uk.
And on socials?
On socials, yeah, we're CyberPowerUK on all of our socials, so yeah, all of them.
Hi, my name is Kate Mia White and this is my work. I'm an illustrator. I have been doing cons for about 10 years. Yeah, everything is hand-drawn at first and then I've inked everything on the iPad. So I use Procreate. I do fan art, but I also do a lot of spooky cats and we also do card games. So this is our card game where you're a necro hamster and you're bringing little undead animals back to life and battling each other. Yeah, I also do comic books. So I've got a comic book called Help, My Cat is Summoning a Portal to Hell. And everything's kind of cute and indie. You can find me at Kate Mia White, any Instagram, Etsy. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm representative for Enrica Martine Studios. She does all this lovely artwork, shadow art, and she's the guest artist here at AnimeCon. You can find any of this art on EnricaMartineStudios.com, and you can get anything on canvases, prints, t-shirts, tote bags, anything. It's a great time. You should come down here and join in the fun at AnimeCon. So if you're not here, the best place to go is at EnricaMartine.com.
So hello, I am Gentoo Scents, currently at AnimeCon, selling all of my different anime and gaming candles. We've got a massive variety of scents. We're doing mystery candles, we're doing wax melts, anything that smells good we're doing. If you're not at AnimeCon, you can find me on Instagram at Gentoo Wares or on my shop at Gentoo Scents, www.gentooscents.shop. Thank you.
I am here with David Menkin and Yndis, both amazing voice actors, both here at AnimeconUK. How has your experiences been over the last couple of days?
Pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Such lovely people, such amazing cosplay, and amazing vendors as well. I managed to buy myself a Monado sword, so
Even better.
Yeah, second David. I mean, I'm so impressed by the cosplay game here. I mean, we've been to quite a few conventions and Comic-Cons throughout the year, but this one, I haven't seen so many amazing cosplays. So yeah, it's so much fun.
So you guys have been lucky enough to work with each other 3 times, I believe. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga,
yes,
where you're mother and son, which is a very interesting combination,
Yeah.
and the amazing Final Fantasy 16.
And 14.
And 14 as
and
well.
14, yeah.
4
So
times.
4
Yeah, but you
times
have
together.
done your research, thank you.
Yeah, you have.
So how did you both get into voice acting? Was it just kind of a natural progression out of stage school, or was it just a way into different type of acting, or was it?
So I studied at drama school, and the first professional job that I got after graduating from drama school was actually a video game. So it was the Game of Thrones Telltale game.
Ah, yes.
And I remember being kind of confused. I was like, oh, is this is a thing? I'll roll with it. And then basically what happened was, I think the studio liked me, I guess, and so they just kept my voice on file, and whenever there were any sort of Scandinavian roles or something fantasy related or whatever, I would get invited in for auditions. So it was kind of by chance that I got into voice acting, but I'm so happy that I did, because we didn't really get taught at drama school that it was a thing.
And how many children?
Yeah, now everybody wants to do it. No, I went to drama school. I did the usual thing, and then started doing voiceovers, and was then asked by a casting director colleague of mine to come in and help her cast a game, and I was in charge of letting people in through the door and making sure they got out in time. And at the end of the day, she was like, "Do you want to come in and try?" I went, "Sure." And suddenly I was cast as the player character in Battlefield Bad Company, Preston Marlowe. And suddenly I had a career in games. So, and it just sort of snowballed from there.
So, VA acting must be, especially video game acting, must be so different from your standard kind of audiobook, audio drama style. How do you get yourselves into a video game role? Imagine it must be really different to try and get yourself involved in that.
You've got voice acting, and then you've got motion capture and performance capture. There's lots of different things. But to give you an idea, for the last voice acting job that I did, my Fitbit thought that I'd been doing climbing for an hour. So even though you're standing pretty still, so that you're talking into the microphone, I found myself being very, very physical. It's insane. You really have to, and you have to center your voice. You have to make sure you think about what kind of situation your characters are in. There's so many things, and then you've got to sound natural, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a fine line between the sounding natural, but then also making sure that your voice is clear and like projected at some points. There's like sometimes. Well, I always use this as an example, but you have in Final Fantasy 16, you've got a scene where it's just your presence. Like your character is just present in the room, but there's no lines. And that, it's easy to just sit down and be like, this is my presence. But I guess you had to do some breathing. And so there's like a fine line between the natural, you want it to sound natural, but still your voice needs to carry the story forward in a way, whether it's through breathing or, lines.
So for a multilingual voice actor, how do you guys have to then reinterpret that in your head? Do you have to retranslate it? Do you have to then think about the way you're doing it in a kind of different kind of accent, different style, different voice?
I think for me, being multilingual has actually helped me find other rhythms. So especially with English, I'm able to maybe use different rhythms in the way I speak for my characters, which then makes them sound very, very different to other ones. So even though I'm playing an American character in something, I might use the same cadence that I would as a Norwegian or as a Swede or whatever, and that kind of just adds to it. I haven't had the chance to play too many actual Norwegian roles or Swedish roles. I've had them where they say certain words, but yeah, I just feel that the more you have with you in life, the more you're able to bring into your characters.
Fantastic.
Yeah, when I first moved to the UK, I actually had a very strong foreign accent, and so I spent a lot of hours and a lot of money with accent teachers, and what they teach you is like different rhythms, different cadences of the voice, like where you basically place your vowels in the mouth, etc. So RP is completely different to like an standard American accent. So I learned how to use my mouth and also just place the sounds differently, which then it kind of translates really well to being a voice artist, because you can then choose what you use for different characters, so they all sound different. And usually what I do if I'm playing, say, an Eastern European character, because I'm also Polish, so I speak Polish and Norwegian, I will try for that day just to speak Polish. Like if I know that I'm recording something with an Eastern European accent, I'll call my mom, speak to her in Polish, and just make sure that I'm like, my mouth is kind of molded in that way before I put on the accent. But I think after so many years of doing it, I can kind of fall into the accents now without having to do too much prep.
And I suppose
too talented.
And I suppose my final question to you both is it weird when you're playing a video game and your own voice comes out the screen towards you?
I have a funny thing. I don't play video games, but my partner does. And we've got a PlayStation 5 at home. And the funny thing is, like, how much he loves killing my characters. And actually, I feel like that is our couples therapy right there. He just needs to like kill my characters, and then we're absolutely fine. Like he gets all of his aggression out.
Yeah, as well as being actors, our job is to ruin viewing and gaming experiences for all of our friends.
Yeah.
Have you ever slid an in joke in anywhere? Just in the.
If only we could, but unfortunately, our directors are way too good at spotting when we go off piste.
It's very well scripted.
But
nowadays.
I mean, the night is young. I may still try.
One day.
One day.
Thank you very much for your
Thank
time. We'll put your socials in the links. Any projects coming up that you want to tell us about, or under NDAs?
I would love to be able to tell you right now, but we would both be killed.
We would, yeah, and be sued and thrown out from this industry. So we're gonna keep our mouths shut.
Brilliant, thank you.
Keep your eyes and ears peeled, though.
Yeah.
Been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed the convention, and we'll hopefully see you again soon.
As usual, we're at a convention, and this means we have time challenge, gentlemen. 10 minutes, 10 of your English pounds. Time to find the best item that you can find on the floor for £10 in 10 minutes. Bring it back here. Mrs. Geeky Brummie, who's behind camera, shall judge the winner for us, and second place and third place. But the new title of this feature is
Hall from the Hall.
So we will cut to footage of us running around like lunatics now.
I promise I won't get a body pillow.
No body pillows allowed. Any other rules are we going to say about? No over 18 items, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
keep it PG.
Yeah, keep it PG. We'll keep it PG.
So no booby items.
We'll get we'll get 3 items, which will return here, and we shall get them judged. But we'll see you in a second.
Right, the first challenger, off the hall, 10 minutes. Timer is starting. Now, go, good luck. Alright, off the hall. So, Keith, you're up. Right. Off on the hall. Please do. Please do. Okay. No.
Time for the results of our Hall from the Hall challenge. Leigh cheated. We agreed that Leigh cheated, didn't we?
Well,
he had 4 minutes wandering around, and then he came back with the camera and said, "Oh, the camera doesn't seem to be working," and then went away for another 7 minutes.
It was not 4 minutes. Very much.
It was almost 4 minutes on the countdown.
but hopefully the reveal is worth it.
Yeah. Do we let him off?
Yeah.
I think we'll let him off.
I'm kidding.
Cool. So, to recap, we each went around, £10 each. Did we all spend our full £10?
I spent the full £10.
I spent the full 10.
I also spent the full £10, so equal pricing. First time we've done this where everybody's had equal pricing, I think, so it is purely on the item. Mrs. Geeky Brummie, who is off screen, will be choosing the winner on second place and the loser. But Leigh, as you went first, do you want to reveal your item?
Okay, so spent ages trying to find like something that wasn't 10, like above a 10. But eventually, this caught my eye. It is a print of Team Rocket, and they apparently have murdered Ash and Pikachu. But I mostly liked just how Meowth looked, who is my favourite Pokemon. So
Yeah.
I'm really very fond of this picture.
I always think Wobbuffet looks a bit phallic.
I think they have like played up the horror of Wobbuffet
Yeah.
with the mouth. It is a gaping maw.
Yeah.
If ever I've seen one, but I did like this picture. So
Do you think Wobbuffet and Meowth took out Pikachu whilst Jessie and James took out Ash.
I think so, yeah. So
We don't have a corpse of Ash, just his hat, so it
Just his
could
hat.
be that he
Yeah.
escaped.
Well, or he's inside Boba Fett. He's been eaten.
He's inside Boba Fett.
You know who I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was from like the same stand that's doing a lot of the Pokemon terrarium things. So
Pretty like it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Geeky Brummie, your opinion? Sharon?
I like it for the expressions on their faces.
There we go.
There you go. Keith, time to reveal your item.
Okay, so we all like a bit of anime, and while you're watching anime, what could be better than having a lovely beverage while you're having your
Just because of the way it's wrapped, I was thinking of it. You know, the pots of curry sauce you get from chip shops.
Yes.
That's how I was thinking.
So I
Some mushy peas.
Yeah.
I picked up from the lovely looking Doki Japanese kitchenware stall a kind of Ghibli inspired mug with a lovely little kind of. If you spin it round, it looks like it's AnimeInkUK.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, that's pretty. So it's a bit like a zoetrope, but with coffee.
So and it's kind of got
Isn't
an
that
uneven
kind of a
tough.
design for hot drinks though? Because you're going like
Spinning it with.
But you could have a cold beverage in there as well.
Yeah.
So you could spill a cold beverage and then have a hot beverage in there.
Yeah.
But I thought a lovely little bit of earthenware. I thought it was very nice. Practical.
It
and
looks handmade. Just because it's like
it's
it's
slightly
uneven
and everything.
Yeah. It looks like GG and the soot sprites from Ghibli got combined into one animal.
Yeah. A bit of Coraline kind
Yeah.
of cat in there as well. A bit of Tim Burton-esque. So I thought, what better than a bit of beverage to go with your anime viewing.
Okay. Over to the verdict from Mrs. Geeky Brummie.
That is very nice. I went and looked at the Doki stuff as well. Lots of different designs.
Yeah, they've got one that was kind of above budget, but I would have liked to have got, which was the kind of the raccoon one. They've got kind of raccoon designs as well, which are very nice. So, what have you managed to pick up for your £10 haul from the hall, Ryan?
I've got a carrier bag.
Lovely.
And inside said carrier bag is.
Did you have to pay for the carrier bag?
No, the carrier bag was free. Is some stickers.
Oh, okay.
From Bandai Sunrise. It's a global tournament, apparently, as well. And my new favourite hobby, Gunpla. So I've got a super deformed version of Gunpla Kun DX set, which I believe is a recreation of the old Granddaddy Gundam that is in Mr. RX-78-2, piloted by Amuro Ray.
Yeah.
It is the original Mobile Suit Gundam. But it's an activity as well as a gift because you give people the pleasure of building Gunpla and then having a figurine at the end of it.
And you could have a beverage after you've finished.
While staring at your
complete,
person.
wondering what's happened to Ash, Pikachu, whatever.
No, I think he's very cute and I quite like him.
He's very nice.
It's kind of in that chibi super deformed kind of style.
Yeah.
Surprised it was only a tenner.
Yeah, £10. Good way to get
I feel like maybe you cheated.
I found something £10. £10 has always been our budget.
Yeah, that's surprising you got that for £10 because Gunpla tends to be quite expensive anyway.
I think there's not many parts in that
No,
particular
I think it's pretty much an integrated kit here, so I think it's a good, fun, easy way.
It's a cute.
It's called a fun to build Gunpla.
I think it's not going to take more than about 10 minutes to put it together.
No. But I think it will be just a nice bit of a recreational activity. So, who's in third place, Mrs. Geeky Brummie?
It's a difficult one because they're all very nice and I don't think there is a bad gift amongst them. So I would probably say joint second is Gunpla and the print. And the mug gets my first prize.
I'm not going to say I was swayed by the judge in picking my choices because I thought, I know who'll like this.
Something a bit kawaii, a little bit on the cute side.
Yeah. But practical as well. I thought this is quite nice.
I think this is very much a boy gift.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be quite happy with that.
I'd be very happy.
I'd be a bit scared of that print, though. I wouldn't like to wait until the middle of the night with it.
But meows, that's right.
I'm here with the amazing Amy and Sarah from Waterstones. Thank you very much for agreeing to be on camera.
Thank you.
So we're here at AnimeconUK. We're day 2, Sunday. How's it been for you both so far?
It's been really, really fun. Oh, amazing! Like seeing all the cosplayers, absolutely insane. Like the amount of stuff that's here as well, and the vibe is really good. And I met Zeno Robinson, so yay!
There's literally someone tattooing people right across from us, and it's brilliant.
That's pretty cool thing to watch all day.
Yeah.
Not tempted either of you to get a tattoo yourselves?
Very. We'll see.
I'm trying to convince someone to get a tattoo today, but we'll see.
Cool. So Waterstones Birmingham, massive shop just on High Street. You have a fantastic manga selection. You can probably see it all behind us. So if anybody's looking to get into manga, don't really know what to get into, can they come to you guys for advice?
Absolutely. So I'm actually the head of manga at Birmingham Waterstones. So I do take a lot of pride in my section. If anybody is looking to get into manga, obviously they can come see me, one of my colleagues, because I do talk about it non-stop. This is just a small selection of what we offer in store. We do have some more unique titles, stuff that's a little bit harder to get a hold of that other places might not have. So yeah, come see me. Always happy to help. Yeah.
Awesome.
We can also order things in if we don't have it in store as well.
Even better. And what would be your personal recommendations for your first manga to get into?
I am absolutely obsessed with Trigun, which obviously is very hard to get hold of at the minute, but they are bringing out the deluxe editions from September. So like sci-fi, space sort of fantasy, amazing characters, amazing plot. It's just insane. You cannot guess what is going on.
Most wanted man in the universe, which
Absolutely,
means the manga's
yeah.
out of stock.
He is just my favourite. So that would be mine personally.
Well, I would like to recommend the first manga I've read, which was recommended to me by Amy, which was the case study of Vanitas. Absolutely loved it. Steampunk vampires, I don't know what more you could want.
Awesome. Thank you very much both. Where can you find more information about Waterstones Birmingham?
You can either follow us on Instagram with Waterstones Birmingham or also on Twitter at BamWaterstones. But come and say hi to us someday. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi there, my name is Rina. I create handmade soft toys. I make little patches. I have little keychains over here. And yeah, I've been at this con since the first one that they did all the way last year, and also the one that they did in London. Honestly, I just look for cons in the area. I'm based in the Netherlands, and I usually just travel around to all sorts of cons all around Europe. So this was just another one of the list, and I'm honestly very happy with it this year. So I'm definitely going to be back. So I have a website. It's Rinabow.com. And at the moment, the main focus on that site, I'm selling the patches on the site. I'm not sure when or if I'll be putting the other stuff up there. But I do take commissions, or you can always contact me on the site. So if there's anything that people are interested in, they can reach out to me there.
そう、なんか、これを、なんか自己、紹介して。
This is people. They hold the crab like this. Okay. And they hold it. Three. Fair hold. Cuttlefish. Fair hold. Full hold. Okay. And stay hold. This is Bluetooth speaker. And
and also Bluetooth speaker, not just Bluetooth speaker.
So if we're not at AnimeCon today, where can we find these products if we wanted to buy them later on?
なんか後で、どこで買えばいいかっていう。
でも、I live in Japan, so I have a web shop, but the shipping fee very expensive. So.
Hi, I'm Savannah, aka Savannah Sews, and as you can imagine, I sew, I make plush toys, dolls, mini blankets, everything like that. I've been doing this for a few years now. Cons is a little bit of a newer thing to me, so I was really excited to come to AnimeCon. I also do a lot of artwork as well, which is on my Etsy, which is Savannah Sews. But my main social network is Instagram, where I post all of the dolls that I make. I make a lot of people's original characters and their favorite characters from pop culture, anime, movies. So check me out if you're interested. I'd love to make your doll.
I'm joined by the fantastic Natalie Van Sistine. Not just an amazing VA, you do a lot of audio ADR, and you're a writer as well.
Yes.
I know you personally as Serval from Hot
Yes.
Star Rail, which I've had to uninstall off my phone because I've been playing it too much.
It is very addictive, so it's kind of like a good problem, but a problem.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. But you also play Your Forger in Spy X Family, one of the biggest shows going around. You are starting strike with My Hero Academia. You've been in Attack on Titan. Gundam the Witch from Mercury. Far too many titles for me to name. You are one of the great VAs of our time.
Thank you.
How did you even get into VA in the first place?
Honestly, I was looking for opportunities to do music. I originally wanted to be a classical musician. I was really interested in piano and cello, and I was looking for opportunities to write music as well. And I happened to stumble upon some early YouTube era job requests where people are like, oh, I'm going to make an independent animation and I need a whole team of people to do things. So I was looking for if I could get in on a project working on music in some capacity. And I found one that also needed voice actors. And I think there's just a little light bulb in my head that went, what if, I have a microphone built into my laptop. How hard could being a voice actor be? But it was just as simple as that. But I think it helped that I wasn't necessarily going, oh, I want to be a voice actor so I can be famous and do all these things. It was just like, oh, that sounds like a fun thing to do as a hobby in my spare time. And then I really grew to love it and thought it was so much fun. And as I did more and more with it, I started finding more opportunities to start working in independent video games, especially. That was where I really got my roots. And then I started working on legitimate not that indie games aren't legitimate, but full studios that had actual money behind them. And I was able to book work in franchises. I think the first big one I was in was one of the Deus Ex games, which was really cool. And so I just kept doing stuff like that and then meeting people. And then eventually someone was like, hey, do you want to audition for this anime project? You'd have to fly out for it. And this was back before remote was really an option. But I was like, anime sounds great. Let's do it.
So having that classical music training and working with editing as well, does that really affect how you approach your voice acting? Because you're thinking, I'm not just performing this. How would I edit this myself?
Yes. Yeah, actually quite a bit. For the longest time, I still thought that acting would always be the side hustle and kind of the fun side thing. So I was trying to look for something that would still allow me to be able to participate in production and still do creative things. And I thought I was developing a real enjoyment for audio engineering as I was editing and working with my own audio. And sometimes I was working on other people's projects too. And I thought, well, this sounds like a cool job. So I went to university for audio engineering and ended up working as a dialogue editor and recording engineer for anime eventually when I finally bit the bullet and made the big move to Texas to start working more in the anime scene directly. And as I was doing that, I learned exactly how anime is recorded and exactly what the engineers are doing to make sure it lines up with all of the animation and to make sure that the performance is synced to the picture perfectly. And so now when I go in as an actor and I'm seeing those things, I'm going, oh, okay, I know that, okay, I can see that the engineer's going to have to make a cut in the audio here. And, oh, if I made a mistake, I need to pause for a second and then restart the sentence so that way they can edit. But I also know, like, if I'm in the middle of the phrase, like where there's a comma, pause, I know I can stop there and I can start there and the engineer should be able to cut that together, like stuff like that. I'm like, I know I would be able to cut that, so I think they'll be fine.
Looking for those pops, bangs, and just breathes.
Yeah.
So, you'll forge a very young character in Spy X Family.
I really love that she has kind of the different dynamics, because when she is an assassin, like I normally try to make sure, because she is very confident in that, she's kind of got the muscle memory and she really knows what she's doing. And that's like the one thing she knows she's doing right. So with that, like I usually try to physically embody that, where usually I'm standing straighter and more confidently, and I have my feet planted really well, and the voice is more supported and confident. And then when she's nervous or having an anxiety meltdown, then I, kind of hunch up a little bit more, and I can like wring my hands and just kind of feel that tension. So that way it starts to creep into the voice, and then it starts getting more anxious, and then you can cure.
Yeah. Because having that experience as a writer as well, when you're having pretty much Japanese dialogue that's being retranslated into English, does that really support you in how you think and how you would express yourself in the role?
Yes.
Make kind of quick edits on the fly occasionally?
I do. I mean, most of the time at the point where the actors are in the booth, we're not able to edit a ton unless the director's like, I don't know, does that sound right? Should we think about it? So most of the time I'm not editing on the fly, but it does... if anything, if I am doing it, it's because my brain is like auto-correcting and going like, oh, I would have said it this way, so I just say it that way. And then I go, wait, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to just read it as written. That's not helping anyone. But it does really, help as I'm writing, though, to kind of have that. It does make it hard for me to watch subtitled anything anymore, though, because I've written or adapted scripts for both animation and live action at this point too. So anytime I watch something with subtitles, my working brain starts turning on and going, would that fit? How much would I have to change it? And then you're like, no, stop it. Just enjoy the movie.
So do you listen to your Japanese counterparts a lot to get kind of inflection on how they deal with the character? Or do you go kind of fresh?
Yeah, so with dubbing, we always preview the Japanese audio before we ever come in for a take. Or if you're doing live action or any other language, honestly, Chinese or Russian or, whatever,
Korean,
French, German, all that, So when you are dubbing, normally... I think there's some exceptions, some studios that don't always do this, but most of the studios I've always worked with, we always watch the scene or a sequence or however many lines we're doing. We'll always preview those in the original source language first, so we get a sense of, how big is the sound that they're making, like what is the emotion behind the words, and how much intensity is the actor bringing? Is it goofy? Is it relaxed? Is it, sometimes cinematic performances are very understated compared to something very big and goofy. So it always does really help us a lot that we're referencing the original performance. We're seeing the body language and the amount of movement. So that way, when we start recording, as soon as we've gotten done, we'll rewind and then immediately start. I just said rewind and I realized I'm like, maybe that's not a thing that people know about anymore. I'm dating myself a little bit here. But you go back to the beginning of whatever the sequence is or the lines, and then as you're coming in, you have that fresh in your mind what the original performance was. You just saw the visuals, and then that makes it easier for you to go, okay, I know how I'm going to apply my lines to that.
That's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for letting us behind the curtain.
Sure, absolutely.
It's been great to hear more about VA and how the process goes into it. I'll take no more of your time up. It's been absolutely fantastic. I will. Hopefully you've enjoyed AnimeCon, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
I hope so. It's been a great time.
Noah, really good to see you again. It's been a while since Forbidden Planet International.
Yes,
that was Star Wars Day, wasn't it? May the 4th?
Yes, it was. May the 4th be with you. That's why we were there.
Yes.
Promoting Free Comics Day.
Yes, and the amazing AnimeCon, which is on right now.
Yes.
Day 2.
Yes.
How has Animates gone down? It looks to be fantastic every time we walk past.
So I've got quite a lot of photos that I can show you in regards to it. So we've had bingo, we've had a quiz, We have had a zine making workshop, and we've also had cosplay live drawing. We've essentially hired quite a few hosts. So what we do at Animates is we want people who come to the con either on their own or with one or two friends who want to meet other people with similar interests. We've had quite a few of our hosts who take people around in groups, so it's a lot easier for people instead of having to be one-on-one. There's a lot less pressure. It makes it a lot easier for people to just relax into it and also have guidance. We do know that we have a lot of neurodivergent people who come to AnimeCon. We want to celebrate that, and we also want to make sure that these people are catered to and that they're able to meet other people who might have differences that make it difficult with social interaction. So we have a lot of people who are well-trained, well-versed in soft skills and things like that, who can help other people get along, find each other's interests, and hopefully make friends. We've had a couple of emails from people already, like saying, thank you for my first time at a con. It's been great. I've actually made a load of friends. Some people have sat around and gone, oh, I'm from this place. And then they go, oh, I'm from there. Oh, I'm from there. And then they all start talking about where they're from. And it doesn't have to be about anime, but we all know that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to have a common interest to share, and it's always a great starting point for any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And I can imagine if you've come quite far, because people have come miles. I think there's people from Scotland down to here today.
Yes.
And yesterday, so people have come from all over the UK. And there might be somebody, as you said, lives less than a mile from their house. Also here, doing anime, same kind of interest. This is a really good melting pot and a chance for them to meet and get together and maybe start off something beautiful further down the line.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it's meant to be about. Like, we do understand that a lot of cons have become quite corporate, and what we want to do is we want to make sure it's still about community. We want to make sure it's about our artists and make sure it's about the people who actually attend cons, being able to make those connections still, because it can be quite difficult when you come on your own. What do you really do at a convention other than shop, go to places, see what's on? Actually meeting people can be quite difficult because there are no guided spaces. It takes a lot to approach somebody and say, I love your cosplay, can we be friends? Or, I'm really into this, can we be friends? A lot of the time, some people might not want that.
But having that kind of safe interaction space as well, that's such a key thing to hear, because I know social anxiety is a really big killer for a lot of people, that they wouldn't ever go and approach somebody and say, your cosplay's amazing, or I really like who your character is, or I'm a massive fan of this series. And this gives them somewhere that is kind of neutral ground to a certain extent, and somewhere that people can come enjoy and meet for that first time.
Of course, yeah. I do know that with our community, there's a lot of difficulties with maintaining eye contact, or speaking to people first, or being able to carry on a conversation. With things like prompt cards and conversation starters, icebreakers.
Having a board game with somebody.
Exactly.
Brilliant way to have a conversation.
Yeah, we've actually had Naruto Monopoly here today, so that's quite fun. We've had a bunch of Genshin cosplayers sitting around having a good play of that, so that's been pretty fun. We hope that next time it will be a lot bigger as well. We want more people to come, we want more structure, just so people know what they're doing.
So it's been an absolutely fantastic experience. Animates the first time around, definitely going to be coming back for the next convention, I assume.
Definitely.
And if anybody wants to get ready for the next convention, web information will be on the AnimeconUK website.
That's correct.
But assuming usually we'll drop an Instagram post out, say when and things, applications can start coming in.
Yeah, so it'll be through our social medias. So we do have applications for our hosts as well. So these are the people who we need to a phenomenal amount of soft skills. We need them to be able to interact with people, to be able to liaise between one-on-ones with big groups, have the confidence to be able to walk around a convention and speak to a lot of people, introduce people to stuff, and get involved with a lot of things. So to get into Animates, what somebody would need to do is they would need to have an Animates pass. To do this, they need to sign up, as they need to agree to some terms and conditions. They also need to bring their ID to prove their age. We have had a little bit of feedback over the weekend that this might be a good thing for teenagers. We might keep this in mind, but we don't have any guarantees as of yet, just due to safety and security. So for now, I would continue to assume that it is for over 18s only. As long as you bring your ID and you bring your weekend pass, we'll be able to get you in. So this is for anybody who comes on either Saturday or Sunday, VIPs or full weekends. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to be able to make some friends for you.
Yes, and if you have enjoyed the Animates experience, please let Noah know, and please give Noah feedback. anything that you really liked, anything that you think might be slight changes for next time. It's all great feedback to get back in so we know how to improve for next time around.
Exactly, yeah. We'd like to have a lot of feedback for everything that we've done here today. We do know that because this is the first time, there might be some teething problems, but next time we should be able to get them all ironed out to make the experience a lot faster and a lot better for everybody who attends.
Awesome, thank you very much.
No
So
problem.
when you're ready for your next AnimeconUK experience, keep an eye out for Animates on social feeds, and application form will be on the website.
That's correct, yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the con.
I'm here with the amazing Mark from Fuzzballs. Tell us all about Fuzzballs.
So we're one of the cutest brands out there, I like to think. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and we're in lots of retailers like HMV, WH Smith's, TK Maxx. As you can see, we've got lots of products. Got our t-shirts and coasters, and got enamel pins and bags and a whole range of stuff. Our plush toys as well. Started doing it as a Tumblr webcomic, and it was just for fun, really. And it's because we started going viral on there, and people loved our stuff. They wanted more of it, basically. And we started doing the convention scene, and that got us into retailers as they saw the popularity of us. And now we're really big on our social media stickers. We've had 1.6 billion uses of those on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, stuff like that. So yeah, we get around a little bit.
It's great that you're still doing the convention scene as well. Do you find it's a really different atmosphere versus your retail?
Oh, definitely. So we have different products in retail because it suits retail differently. But it's great meeting the people face to face, and they're what inspire me to create certain designs. Our tea design is really popular because people love tea, and they always tell me there's always coffee designs out there, but they want tea. So we made it, and it's one of the most popular designs now. So it's really good to interact with people and the customers. Basically.
Have that direct feedback
Yes,
that you're never going to find anywhere else.
Exactly.
That's amazing, thank you. Where can we find information about you online?
So yeah, you can find us at fuzzballs.co.uk. We're on Instagram as Fuzzballs, on Twitter and Facebook, all the usual social media. Find our stickers by just typing in Fuzzballs into the little GIF icon on your favourite messaging app of choice. Easy to find us.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Dennis, and I run Rivals Corner, which is a Gunpla store here in the UK, in London. It's an online store, and you can find me at rivalscorner.co.uk to buy Gunpla basically. And you can also follow me on Instagram at rivals.corner on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook and Twitter as well, or X. Well, we're here just to basically soak up the vibes, the anime vibes. I mean, who doesn't love anime? And we wanted to share Gunpla with as many people as possible. We're trying to bring Gunpla to as many people as possible because we know Warhammer's quite big. We think Gunpla, we can be just as big, if not bigger, here in the UK. So we're trying to promote it as much as possible. We're actually running a free workshop here today as well, so people can build their own Gunpla, take it home for free as well. So hopefully people that, come and try it, enjoy it, and come back for more. So happy building, basically.
It's Shell here, and I'm at Tokyo Toys. As always, if you've been watching us on our Instagram page and everything else, we are here at AnimeCon at the NEC, and if you've been to the show, brilliant, I'm sure we come and saw you. But we have everything anime, manga, and everything related to it, so I'm sure you've seen it. It's amazing. We have a store at Birmingham and Corporation Street. It's literally 2-minute walk from New Street train station. You literally go out the doors, straight up the road, and we are right there. You can't miss us. Google Maps finds us as well, so make sure you look there. But we have had a great day, and I'm sure we've seen loads of you, and I'm sure we'll see you guys in the store.
Hi, we are AnimeInkUK. You can go to our website, and this is our hand draw poster, and one of the original here. Thank you.
I am with the amazing Josie Montana McCoy, named after Josie Wells the Outlaw, I believe.
That is correct, my friend. That is correct. It's my dad's favorite Western. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
It's amazing. It is Father's Day over here in the UK.
Yeah.
So you're best known probably over here in the UK for Kea in Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
You're also Quiz in Batwheels, which is a fantastic show, especially for young audiences.
Truly. It's one of my favorites.
Thank you. How did you get into voice acting?
You know, I have always wanted to. I always played with voices. I did imitations of people when I was a young kid. I watched a lot of Saturday Night Live. So there was plenty of content to imitate. And I did musical theater since the age of 8, so it's been a long time. So I've done a lot of theater, and then I was able to make the transition, honestly, by meeting some people in Los Angeles who were in the voiceover world. They kind of let me be a fly on the wall, check out the studio while they were doing some stuff, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And the next thing I knew, I auditioned for them and was booked on Monster High.
Brilliant. So, going from video game voice acting to TV voice acting, is it a completely different experience in both situations? I can imagine it must be like going between stage and film and theatre.
Yeah, I mean, it's all so different. With the stage, we have weeks of rehearsal for something, and we have to build it and maintain it each night. But for voiceover, whether it be animation or video game, you got one day, really, and they can bring you back in if they want to record something. But really, it's like, understand the story as best you can, figure that out with the director. I love direction so much. I love the challenge of actually getting to the point of what someone wants is one of my favorite parts of acting, the intention behind all that. But yeah, animation versus video game, it can be very different, especially with video games. Sometimes with cutscenes, they've got a very tight window of when you have to say a line because they've already done the animation for it and they've already got the lip moving, so you have to try to match that as best as possible. And with animation, the animation I've done, I get to be a kid, basically, which is so much fun. Quiz is just the Riddler's helicopter, and he has a blast no matter what he's doing. And so those are very, very fun things for me to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you about, because I can imagine Quiz and Batwheels being on set. Do you get to interact with the other voice actors to get that kind of experience?
No, it's very similar to video games. It's like just me. The director will be either on the other side of the wall, on the other side of the glass, or even zooming in. And the creators are a big part of the show, actually. The creators are there for all of my sessions, and they direct most of the episodes themselves. And it's so much fun. Even though it's just me, it is fun every now and then to be able to hear some of the other voices. They're like, okay, actually, we're going to have the, BB's voice read you into this next line. And so I get to hear some of their stuff and then go into it myself. So it's really fun no matter what.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to ask about being a VA. It must be very physical as well, because you're still emoting, you're still having to do those hand movements, you're still having to do those gestures to get that voice across.
Yeah.
Even though you're in your ADR booth, are you exhausted by the end of the day? Because it's just a sore throat. I can imagine everything is aching.
Yeah, it's a body, mind, and soul kind of situation. With something like Kaya, he's a little calmer and collected, if you will, a little mysterious. So I'm never too exhausted after those, vocally perhaps. But with Quiz, it's everything. It's a full body experience. And I love it when I get the creators and the directors laughing at what I'm doing. And they're like, dude, your face is doing some really funny stuff. We're gonna make sure Quiz can do that facial expression in this episode. So being able to feed into some of the stuff that they're doing in the animation is very fun as well.
And putting together a character like Quiz, how do you get that kind of Riddler vibe into what is a helicopter, to be honest?
Yeah, right? It's a funny story, actually. My wife happened to be talking with some colleagues of hers about their experiences on different helicopters and everything. And my wife has been on a helicopter with Santa Claus, actually, believe it or not. That was her one experience. And that was a fun thing. I was there for that. And she told me this story, and I was like, well, did you tell them that I've never been on a helicopter, but that I play one on TV? Unfortunately, she didn't. She was very upset. She was like, why didn't I think of that?
That's such a great line to have in your pocket.
I was like, when do I get to say that? This is it. This is my one chance. But yeah, working, finding out and digging into the Riddler and his helicopter. I watched a lot of Jim Carrey as a kid. So I grew up with, I believe it was Batman Forever that Jim Carrey was the Riddler in. So not only in that, but he's been a hero of mine in so much of the physical work that he puts into everything. So it's hard not to put that physicality into Quiz. But digging into a character that is iconic and has been for 60 some years, and then being able to kind of create something alongside of it is an honor, a true honor.
Thank you very much. You've got a queue forming, so I'm going to wrap this up really quickly.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say, I saw on your socials, you were playing with a few droids recently.
Oh, yes, I was. I'm a cast member at Disneyland, and I had the fortune very recently during Star Wars Season of the Force to work with brand new BDX droids. And oh my gosh, they're so cute. And it's actually a lot of ad-libbing for that gig. But it's so much fun to get to play with kids at the park and teach them binary through the droid. And the droids are incredibly interactive. And it's kind of like walking around with little toddlers just all over the park and teaching them like, no, come on, let's go this way. Don't worry about those stormtroopers. Come on, let's go. And in the beginning, I was like, man, this is going to be tough. I have to come up with a lot of like ad-lib material. And then I went home from rehearsal and I saw my cats and I was like, oh, hey boys, how are you? Oh yeah, no, you can't do that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just talking to my pets. I'm talking to my cats. It's the same thing. And I've been doing that for 30 years. So it was really, really fun.
And Star Wars droids probably slightly more misbehaved than your actual.
Yeah, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Yeah, they are.
It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Really, really do appreciate you taking the time out.
Of course.
We look forward to seeing you in a lot more stuff soon, especially continuing with Quiz and Batwheels.
Yeah.
Well, pop your socials in the link if people want to follow you. You're a fantastic guy. Love your social feed. And we'll see you soon.
I love it. Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure.
Right, I'm here with Bon Idol from Koguchi. Thank you very much for joining Geeky Brummie.
Absolutely.
How has your AnimeCon experience been this year?
It's been great. It's been great. It's been great to see so much variety, so many different sellers. The Artist Alley looks incredible. Yeah, it's been really fun so far. Been a great day and a half.
Yeah,
thus far.
Really good. So how did you get into creating your own manga?
Like most people, just kind of, making it as a kid, just for myself mainly. And then you kind of start making some zines, going to zine fairs, publishing that way, just kind of, photocopy stuff. I got really into risograph printing, which is a very kind of low-cost DIY print method.
Yeah.
From there, started making more copies, and then suddenly you find yourself doing like 100 books instead of 10 books, and then you taught some friends, and then they want to publish, and next thing you know, you kind of, I think I'm a publisher now. So I've kind of gone a very odd route to it, but I think it's a quite common route as well. I think a lot of people get to it that way. They start for themselves, start printing other stuff for other people, and working together.
Yeah, I mean, create to publisher is kind of that perfect scenario, I suppose,
It is.
to get all your friends involved, etc.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So how did you get involved with Saturday AM?
So they approached me in 2020. It was right around the time we were about to relaunch Koguchi, rebrand that. They were just about to launch their new digital magazine, Saturday Brunch, which has a slightly different kind of demographic from Saturday AM and Saturday PM. They're kind of their first two digital magazines. From there, I started publishing Henshin in Saturday Brunch quarterly. And then the opportunity to do a print book came up. Saturday AM started to launch their print line of graphic novels. And Henshin was one of the ones that was kind of put forward for that.
You are here with Henshin as well today.
I'm indeed.
So do you want to tell us all about Henshin? I mean, it looks absolutely amazing. I
Sure.
love this cover so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really happy with the cover as well. I've had a lot of compliments on it. It's so Henshin is it's originally a webcomic, now a print book. It is very much a love letter to Tokusatsu, so big fan of like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, stuff like that. Like a lot of people grew up watching Power Rangers. What's not to love? Monsters, explosions.
Yeah,
color-coded outfits. What can go wrong?
Ultraman, all those kind of things. What more can you love?
It's so good. So that's kind of the influence on it. The book itself, it's the first volume. Volume 2, is being worked on. It follows a journalism student investigating a cataclysm that happened to his city 10 years before the story, and a kind of rich tech company that kind of came in to save the day. He never really felt like it quite all added up. And then giant monsters start attacking. He becomes a kind of, masked hero. and it's all kind of running away from him, and he's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, having that real good kaiju vibe at the same time.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you know, we talk about it and we reference Super Sentai a lot, and you see that in the design. You know, it's very Sentai-esque in its look, but I would say in its vibe, it's definitely more of a rider kind of thing, you know. Lone hero for now.
Till the rest of the gang turn up, maybe. Maybe that's
I don't want to spoil anything, you know.
So how did you get involved with Saturday AM first? It was just they picked up your art, was it? Or?
Yeah, so it was White Mango who actually approached me, the creator of Apple Black. He reached out, said they were launching a new digital magazine, and then I started talking to the editors, started talking to Frederick, the CEO, who's also the creator of Clock Striker and massively multiplayer online World of Ghosts and Yellow Stringer, man of many talents, Frederick. So I got talking to him, we started blocking out the story, because, you know, when I first started, it was going to be like a real goofy kind of...
almost Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, a bit of a gag manga kind of thing as well. Yeah. Just real bit of a send-up rather than a love letter.
Yeah.
But still with a lot of love, but, you know, like the main character's going to be like a salary man, it was going to be all kind of... You know,
going for the full stereotype tropes.
Yeah. But then it kind of just became its own thing, and it kind of grew, and now it's kind of like a. I wouldn't say it's like a serious, like, you know, grimdark kind of thing. It's not gritty at all, in that sense. But it definitely takes itself, plays it a lot straighter. Than was originally the plan, and you know that's one of the benefits of working with a company like Saturday AM, because you get to work with the editors, you get to get feedback from the readers as well. You know. Being serialized, you get that not quite real time because it's quarterly, my magazine, but you do get that kind of engagement, that feedback, and you can kind of go, well, this works, this doesn't, and figure it out. And then the opportunity to do the graphic novel came a little bit later, so you can kind of go back and go, well, this worked, this didn't. Let's craft this as a volume of comic rather than individual chapters, because that's a very different beast.
Yes, I suppose when you go for an episodic thing, that gives you that chance to kind of, as you said, on a quarterly basis, tweak, great, change, whereas if you're going for a full novel, it's got to have that kind of beat.
You've got to have a narrative thrust through it, nice, satisfying conclusion. Even though the story continues, you want to finish that volume and not feel like, I enjoyed that. Like, I don't feel like I've been shortchanged or, you know, like, oh, well, now I've got to wait and, like, kind of feel... Because it's like... Not that it's the same at all, but like the first Dune movie.
Yes.
I loved it. Incredible film. Then it kind of just ends.
Yes.
And you're like...
And then part one comes up at the very end and you're like, what?
Like, I knew there was going to be more, but like I kind of thought there'd be at least, you know, an end.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes volume ones they're a bit like that, you know, it kind of just finishes and you go...
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, if you think about the big Shonen Jump titles like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece...
Because they're not necessarily crafted like that, you know? Which, when you come out every week, is fine. But when you come out 4 times a year?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to justify.
Yeah, definitely. So if anybody's not here today or they've missed AnimeconUK, where can they pick up your titles?
So Henshin is available basically wherever manga is sold. So you can pick up Henshin from Waterstones, WH Smith. You know, if you're overseas, it's available from Walmart. Barnes & Noble, places like that. Koguchi, you can pick up my books on koguchipress.com or find us on Instagram at Koguchi Press.
Brilliant, and I'll put the links in the description.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having the time out to
Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your convention experience.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Eva. So I'm from lootloom.co, and this is my first time ever doing a big AnimeCon. Me and my mom and my sister, we made all of this handmade by ourselves. So I've been crocheting for about 3 years now, and my mom been crocheting for like the past 10 years. So I was like, instead of just sitting home doing nothing, why don't you make something cute? And then we start doing lots of inventions of things like the squishy bits and all different sorts. So big and small, anything that people requested. We started run a business, and this is like my second month doing it. So it's still very exciting for me. And if you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram, lootloom.co.
Hi, hajime mashite. My name's Kathy and I run Zusetsu. We're here today at AnimeCon. Our speciality is bringing beautiful textiles across from Kyoto in Japan, the old capital, and so I'm here to do furoshiki wrapping workshops. We've had a great time around the corner learning different styles of furoshiki, and as you can see, we also sell beautiful tenaguri wall hangings from Yokohama, which are screen printed by hand, and yeah, we're having a fantastic time. It's just been amazing seeing everybody dressed up in their amazing anime costumes. I've been trying to identify where they're coming from. And I think I'm a bit old school with anime, so I know Sankatsu no Raion and Noragami and Sword Art Online. That's my era. But I've seen Link from Zelda and No Face from Spirited Away. There's been just the most amazing people here. It's been so much fun. Please come and find us. We're on www.zusetsu.com, or you can follow us on Instagram. We'd love to see you. We've got a fantastic community of people who love the culture and tradition of Kyoto. And you can find us on @Zusetsu_store. So that's Zusetsu_store. And we'd absolutely love to see you.
I'm with the fantastic, the amazing Alejandro Saab. Thank you very much for taking a little bit of time out, Geeky Brummie, on a very busy AnimeCon weekend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Didn't expect the insane turnout that I ended up getting.
Is this first time in Birmingham?
First time. First time in the UK.
First time in the UK. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully the airport wasn't too painful.
No, I flew into London and drove out here because I, first of all, didn't even know there was a Birmingham airport.
So I know you've done YouTube previously as Kagi Films, and you've done VA acting, voice and music as well, I believe, under Kagi brand. And then you moved into VA, or was that before or after?
I definitely started off YouTubing, then I went into voice acting, and then I went into VTubing. But yeah, the YouTube stuff as Kagi Films started first, for sure.
And you've been in some fantastic franchises, Genshin Impact. I know you was Jingyan from Honkai
yeah.
Star Rail, which I've had to uninstall from my phone because I was playing it far too much. And I was
I
so
get that.
addicted. I know you've been in Pokemon Journeys as well. So what led you into VA? Was it kind of the YouTube spiraled into that, or?
When I was in like middle school, I had a buddy of mine. We would make these things called machinimas.
Yes.
He was from the UK, funny enough. And we were inspired by like Red versus Blue, that kind of thing, and we'd make our own movies using Halo. And he one day asked me to be a cop. I was 14, going through puberty, and that was kind of like my first exposure to voiceover. And it wasn't until like my junior year of high school that I was like, oh, I kind of like this, and I started doing more and more research on it. And the more I researched it, the more I realized, oh, this is a lot of fun, and I kind of want to keep doing this. And one trip to college, university, later, I dropped out because it was the most miserable I had ever been. I moved to Texas, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, Texas seems to be a really big hotspot for the anime scene in the US as well.
Yeah, that's kind of because that's where Crunchyroll, like their dubbing studio, is located. So,
so when you prepare for a VJ role versus just a VA role, is there a kind of different mindset to you and how you work on that one? So like if you're doing something like Jingyon versus another kind of
like a video
role?
game in comparison to like anime or anything like that. It depends, because like with Jingyuan and certain video games, normally you're just like, oh, you have freedom, like go ahead, do whatever you want. But if it's like a JRPG, usually they'll be like, okay, so this is the amount of time we have. You can, you don't have to match the exact pacing, but it has to start at this time and end at this time. Similar to anime, but with anime, it's a little more technical because then you have the mouth flaps to also match on top of the timing. So, but like most AAA video games, you don't have to do that. Like when I worked on The Last of Us or God of War, it was just like, go crazy, be weird, whatever you have to do.
And we'll match to you.
Yeah.
That must be a nice, easier, bit more free.
Yeah.
So how did that transition happen from VTuber to VA? Was it kind of, you just knew people, you moved to Texas, or? Was that...
Well, I was dabbling in the indie space of voice acting since like 2012. And friends I had worked on indie projects ended up getting into like Funimation at the time. And when I was first moved to Texas, I moved because, yes, Funimation was there, but also I had friends there.
Mhm.
And those friends were like, oh, they're looking for people to audition for, like, this thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, and I threw my hat in the ring, and it was around the time when simuldubs were first starting to become a thing.
Yeah.
So then, you know, folks were starting to hear me, and I don't know, they just thankfully just kept using me. Like, I mean, I kept auditioning for any opportunity they gave me the chance to audition for, but yeah.
Yeah. And then that spiraled into was it Hoyoverse with Genshin?
Well, that was years later.
Complex.
I mean, I had auditioned for Hoyo stuff since the beginning, and nothing, like, was panning out. And then eventually, like, even the Sino one, like, I had auditioned, and then I didn't hear anything until August. And they were like, we need a callback. And I was like, okay. And then that was the longest week of my life, waiting from the callback to when I got scheduled, because I was like, I didn't get the part. And a full week later, they're like, hey, it's 9 a.m. You got the part. All of next week, you belong to us because this character's supposed to come out the following week. So, and it's unheard of. Like, people don't normally, like, record it so last minute. And for Sino, we recorded literally everything, like, a week or two prior to his release.
And having that VTuber background, did that help you? Because it kind of
No, not the VTubing stuff. The VTubing stuff, honestly, is just for fun.
Yeah.
The YouTubing stuff, if anything, it like just helped with cold reads and just improvising more than anything else. But it didn't prep me for like the VO stuff. Maybe at most, like, because I was so used to already yelling like through commentary, like maybe that helped in that regard. So I don't know.
Alejandro, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I really appreciate taking some time out of your day.
Absolutely.
I hope you have enjoyed your first experience of Birmingham. I hope you enjoyed your first experience of the UK, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Hopefully, yeah, if they have me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm with the amazing Wendy from Anime and Chill. Thank you very much for joining Geeky Brummie here.
Mm-hmm.
How has your AnimeconUK experience been?
Oh my god, it's been so busy, so fun. It's probably one of the most fulfilling parts of my life thus far. Like, the ramping up to it was just as busy as the weekend, so I'm very, very happy I did this.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have been running the Anime and Chill stage in the corner as well,
Mhm.
but you also got involved in the legendary AnimeconUK after party.
Yes, so AnimeCon asked us, Anime and Chill, to do the after party. So basically, what we did was sort of knowing the AnimeCon audience, we invited artists including Pianmu, Mio Energy, Schwabadi, Con Request, as well as DJ Fitz and Level Up Leroy.
Right, yep.
Yes. And we basically put on a banging show. So it was sort of a matter of finding out what the best flow would be for the party. So yeah, it was really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how's it been being able to engage with the audience here at AnimeCon? Because I can imagine having a stage, getting people down. I saw some of the idol dancing earlier. That looked absolutely fantastic. So it's been good to get involved and meet new people, get them interested in Anime and Chill.
Yep. So with Anime and Chill stage, what we were aiming to do is sort of give a platform for performers to come up, perform for what they love. So in this case, we had a 2-hour idol festival dedicated to just cover idols. And it was amazing. I had a lot of people come up afterwards saying, thank you for letting us have this opportunity. Hope you do it again. I hope we do it again. So yeah, as well as the random play dance, which is like one of the most popular activities that we do here. So that's basically an hour of sort of dance clips, and people join in, jump in the middle, do the dance, and sort of again and again, and that gets a lot of people interested, a lot of people moving, and it gives everyone something to do here at the convention.
Awesome. So AnimeconUK, is this your first time in Birmingham, or were you here last year as well?
So this is my first time at Birmingham,
Okay.
but Anime and Chill did help with London.
London, yeah.
Yes. So we're really, really happy that we're back. And yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And if anybody wants to find any information about Anime and Chill, where's the best place to look online for it?
Yes, so we are on Instagram mostly, so that's AnimeAndChillUK. We recently opened our TikTok, so that's also there. We have our Twitch, something's upcoming with that one. So yeah, we are on most platforms as AnimeAndChillUK. And you can find us there. We have lots more of events coming, lots of ideas. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff like cooking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Mhm.
Really appreciate you having some time.
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing you again next time.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you
Some
too.
of the hottest VA talent in the world at the moment, Mr. James Day.
Hello, hello.
This has been your first convention.
Absolutely, it was.
Is this your first time in Birmingham, or have you ventured this far the north before? I know you're London-based nowadays.
I've been northern than this. Come on, I've been based in the UK for over half my life now.
Yeah, so you're British Malaysian. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's right. So I was born in Malaysia,
Mhm.
and I grew up in Malaysia, and then I went to school here in the UK from when I was 13 onwards. And then after graduating, I went straight to drama school when I was 18.
Mhm.
But yes, I've been to Birmingham. I've had the pleasure of coming here quite a few times.
So I know you've done Silver Ash in Arc Knights, which
That's
is probably most people may know you from. Final Fantasy 14 and Walker.
Alto, Wuthering Waves.
There we go.
Yeah, which just came out.
Just came out.
Just came out. Such an incredible, successful launch, you know?
Yeah.
30 million pre-registers and stuff. So it's been, the moment that came out, the response has been monumental for me, you know? It's been such a wonderful experience trying to like navigate that and having so much support from other voice actors. Like, especially shout out to Colin Ryan, who's the voice of Alphino in Final Fantasy 14. He really helped me and gave me a lot of words of inspiration and just like making sure like I'm okay, like handling like all this random fame that's come out, you know. And also the voice of Encore from Wuthering Waves, who's in all the scenes with Alto. She's been a great like support as well. So yeah.
So is it kind of weird when you're doing something like that? Because I imagine you're pretty much in the ADR booth on your own and then maybe piping the voice through. Does that kind of give you a bit of like inspiration and help and support knowing those actors behind the scenes?
Oh, absolutely. Like it's the voice acting industry itself is a very lonely one. You know, so everyone's NDA'd up to their eyeballs. No one could talk about anything, and most of the time, you go to a booth by yourself.
Yeah.
The director is in another room, you know, or sometimes even on Zoom, so you don't really talk to anyone in person, face to face.
Yeah.
The audio engineer, who's always lovely, is great to talk to as well. So it's always good when you can talk to other VAs. Bonus if you're in the same game as you. Just so you have a shared experience you could talk about.
Yeah,
You
I know
actually,
David Menkin and in the Yndis were
David,
here as
Nina,
well.
and Tracy.
Yeah.
Like I've known David this past year, and I met Tracy a couple of months ago during the launch of Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. And they've been great to chat to as well. And especially a seasoned vet like David is just so inspirational to just hear. He seems to voice literally every single video character in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I know him as Luke Skywalker from Lego Star Wars.
Absolutely, Lego Star Wars.
There's new peak in your career there. It's
Yeah.
like Mark Hamill, who's an amazing VA as well, but you're VAing
Yeah.
your interpretation of Mark Hamill.
And then, absolutely, being here today, this week on the lead up to this convention, I felt so much imposter syndrome, you know? Just like I've had bouts of anxiety, just like, what am I doing? What is this line of incredible voice actors and me, you know? And last night we went for dinner together, me and the other voice actors like Josie and Alejandro, David, Nina. And it was just so wonderful how, you know, all of us deep down, a lot of us are pretty geeky, you know. We have a lot of shared interests, and we all know what the industry is like.
Yeah.
You know, and it was such a brilliant moment where we're able to just like connect and just talk about things we know we couldn't talk about with anyone else.
Yeah, because I know VAs are like a global industry nowadays, and
that's right.
It's kind of doesn't really, I suppose, matter where you are. But I suppose being based in the UK versus being based in Texas, where a lot of Crunchyroll Funimation stuff gets
Absolutely.
recorded. Do you feel like this is still that kind of bit of a disconnect between the British VA scene and the American VA scene? Or do you think it's still
Yes,
much closer?
I do think so. Just because another reason for that is like I can't speak from experience because I've never been based in the States. My accent is very deceptive. It's very deceptive. A lot of people assume I'm American. I could definitely pass as American, I'm sure. But most of my roles are American. But there's a difference in culture when it comes to voice acting, and the appreciation of voice acting in the US compared to the UK.
Yeah.
You know, like I think in the UK the lines are very blurred when it comes to voice actors, which is why you find like a lot of voice actors in the UK are also like stage and TV and film actors as well, or radio actors. And however, in the States, it's I just from experience, you know, it's more common that people are very specialized within the voice acting field and have voiced hundreds of characters within the voice acting field as well. But of course, there are very talented voice actors who also do TV and stage and film work as well in the States. But I think in the UK, I think there's still like an attitude that you are an actor, you know, rather than just a voice actor or just a straight actor, as they call it.
Yeah. So you're allowed to be versatile. You're allowed to swap between screens.
Yeah. So like,
I know Tracy definitely had very much a blended career across screen, stage, TV, film, and now moving into more video game stuff.
Absolutely. And like another thing is that it's to do with the studios. You know, there are not many voice animation studios like for anime, especially on Crunchyroll. It's not based in the UK.
Yeah.
So that's very much a limiting factor. Sure, there's a lot which could be done online. There's a lot could be done from home, but yeah. Also, talking about it, quite a few voice studios, the casting directors really look for people who are like classically trained in stage and stuff, and it lends itself to a lot of different video games, especially Western-based video games.
So having that drama school background, probably a bit of a leg up in your first starting, or do you think that was?
I don't think it's necessary.
You don't think it's necessary?
Yeah, I do not believe it's necessary. I'll be wrong to say like it didn't affect the trajectory of my career, of course, because I know that me personally, if I didn't go, I would have been lost when it came to how do I go about tackling and getting a foot in the door in the industry. It definitely helped a lot with when it came to stage, film, and TV. However, for voice acting, I did have to find, you know, I had to learn a lot of microphone technique through YouTube. I had to find a lot of different ways to just to develop specifically that craft in voice acting, because it's a very different technique when it comes to stage and TV.
Yeah, I was saying that to some of the guys earlier. Yeah, it's a very physical performance. It's not just breathing into the microphone.
Yeah.
It's not just reading a script like that. It's kind of, you have to embody the personality of the character you're
That's right. That's right. And there's a lot about carrying yourself can affect the way you speak. For example, like Silver Ash. He's such a grand character, right? He has such an overpowering presence in the game. And I remember the voice director for that told me that to imagine that I had a cane. And for other recordings, I did bring a cane in because, you know, he has his cane. He also has a bird. I want a bird. I want a real life Tenzin. I love birds. I really love birds.
Beautiful flower.
Yeah. Anyway, back on topic. So, like, he very much stands with so much presence, and you have to be able to embody that for it to translate to the voice. At least for me. I know people are very different. That being said, I voiced multiple characters underneath a blanket with my microphone, just squat on my coffee table, and somehow managed to pull out some incredible performances just from that.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, because it's a very restricted performance on the screen, because you don't get to control the face, you don't get to control the animations, but you get to control the spirit of the person. You have to embody that voice.
Absolutely. Like, I started my career voicing military grunts and stuff, like especially in the Division 2. And that's really where I found my feet in the voice acting world, because they would throw so many characters at me. I think still to this day, I've done the most voice lines in that game than I have in any other games I've done. And I voiced loads of True Sons, Black Tusks, so many different ways to die, so many ways to be set on fire. And you know, if you're screaming into a microphone, shouting swear words for 3 to 4 hours, it not only kills your throat, but like you need so much support in your diaphragm, your ribs, your head. It's a full body workout.
So as somebody who's relatively new to the industry, I know you've been acting quite well. What kind of tips would you say if somebody wanted to go, especially in the UK, look at how to get into the VA world?
I think you could definitely start by getting a good voice reel, I think. And I think, you know, a lot of voice actors who are looking to get into it and eager to get into it, you know, have passions in video games and in anime and stuff like that. So one recommendation I would do is what I did is I got a collection of all my favorite video game characters. I got my favorite lines that they did, and I just tweaked the lines a bit to make it my own creation. I was inspired from them. It's not so just, you know, so you're not plagiarizing anything. And if you could do an impression, great. You know, record that, record something, get something on tape, you know, for yourself, and specifically so you could send it out to many people. There are different websites you could go to find different open calls and stuff. There are people you could reach out to in regards to like how to get set up as a voice actor. I think there's a website called howtobeavoiceactor.com, which actually, even though the name is very on the nose, it's really good advice. It's really good advice. Yeah, get yourself a good microphone to start, like a good starting microphone, and use your closet, use your cupboard. Sound dampening, get a blanket over you. Yeah. That's the main important thing, just so there's no echoing, no what's the word, response from not having soundproofed walls and stuff like that. And honestly, one of my number one tips again is just to be kind to yourself, because especially when you start out and you're not used to getting so much rejection, and you're not used to getting so many people criticize your voice, it could feel so personal, like it could feel like an attack on like you personally and your talents, but it's not. You should be able to figure out a way you could take criticism professionally and analyze it from a professional point of view. And that's definitely a muscle that takes time to train and develop. Like I very much still struggle with rejection, and it's all a learning path, you know? Like it's all a learning curve. Well, I'm still learning.
James, it's been an absolute delight to talk to you. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
taking some time today.
Yeah.
I hope you have enjoyed your first convention experience.
Oh my god, I loved it. It was so much fun. It was just, it's crazy just being able to meet so many people who are so passionate about the games in real life. And I recently started streaming as well at Hey James Day on Twitch. Little plug. And it's crazy to like meet some viewers in real life too. Like, and I could finally match a face to the username. And yeah, honestly, such a supportive and such a wholesome day where I could literally just geek out about games and anime. What's better, honestly?
Such great to have a space like that as well, and getting some
Absolutely.
direct feedback as well from
Yeah.
people and what they love, and
Yeah.
that common interest bond with people need to share.
Especially since this is a convention I would have went to regardless, you know? Like I'm very much proud to be a fan first and voice actor second.
It's an absolute delight. We look forward to your career with great interest.
Thank you so much for everything.
And we'll hopefully see you again soon.
Absolutely.
Hello, my name's Nick. I'm from Waterstones, Birmingham. We are here at AnimeCon, which is absolutely incredible. We're here because we sell lots and lots of manga. We sell lots of anime stuff. We have a big passion for it as well. So, you know, we're having a really good time interacting with everyone. As you can see, we have loads and loads of stuff. Back at the shop, we have an even wider selection of manga. We sell Gunpla, we sell anime figures, we sell anime backpacks, t-shirts. If you can print anime on it, we probably sell it. And we're just here having a really, really good time this weekend. It's been fantastic so far. The crowd is incredible. Everybody's really, really enjoying it. It's fun. It's just been a really, really good day so far. So if you are not here, physical store, 14 to 16, Smallbrook Queensway in Birmingham City Centre. We are a 2-minute walk around the corner from New Street Station. If you can't get into our store, you can find us at Welter Park Birmingham on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We also have a manga and anime dedicated Discord server where you can just chat to us, you can chat to the community, and we also take orders on there as well. Perfect.
I'm here with the fantastic, the amazing, the superlative Zeno Robinson.
Thank you. The superlative. I haven't been called the superlative before. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking a little bit of time out of your day here. How's your weekend been at AnimeconUK?
It's been great. I've had a lot of fun. Everybody's been so nice. And you know, it's always fun getting to do cons with your friends, and tabling right next to Alejandro. So it's just been a blast, honestly.
So you probably need no introduction, but I'll introduce you anyway. You are Hawks in My Hero Academia. You are DJ in Street Fighter 6, which is a fantastic game.
Thank you.
You are Go in Pokemon Journeys.
Yeah.
I can never get that right.
It's all good.
And Victor Stone / Cyborg in Young Justice, amongst many hundreds of roles that you've been doing.
Thank you so much. I
And you're
appreciate
currently doing Fighter D in Go-Go Loser Ranger, which is on Hulu or Disney Plus, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah.
So, amazing career. You won an
thank
award
you.
last year, Best English Language Actor at VA at the 2021 Anime Awards.
Yeah, it's, 2021. Yeah. I think so. Was it 2020 or 2021?
2021, I think. It might be
Sure.
2020.
One of those years.
One of those years.
I did. Yeah, that was really crazy. The crazy. I mean, I'm gonna give really funny phrasing. I was like, it's really crazy because the crazy part about it is, I mean, they started giving plaques and trophies the year after I won. So like, when Zach won the next year, he got a trophy, and then like Ryan Cole Levy just got a trophy, but I don't have one. So it's like Crunchyroll. Can I get one? Like, please? I got a congratulatory email, which was nice, but I also want a physical trophy too. Now that I see that you're giving them away.
I think they should retroactive trophies.
Right, just like a little backlog.
Yeah.
Put me in the backlog.
Awesome. So, how did you get into voice acting in the first place? Was it kind of a conscious career choice, or was it kind of a sideways move?
It kind of was a sideways move. I mean, the career choice was always acting. I always wanted to do it as soon as I discovered what acting was. But I think the voice acting thing just kind of was a culmination of my love of acting and my love of this medium of anime and video games and just like pop culture, like comic books and things like that. So it became something I became passionate about once I realized that it was something that I could do, combining my love for acting and combining my love for all these other things that I grew up consuming, like watching and playing and things like that.
So was anime a big part of your childhood growing up?
100%. Yeah. Like Pokemon was very foundational. Dragon Ball Z, very foundational. Naruto, things like that. Like I was 4 kids, so that's like Sonic and like Sonic X and Shaman King and fighting Foodon, stuff like that. Ultimate Muscle, like all that stuff I loved as a kid.
Yeah. So when you got the call from My Hero Academia, I should imagine there was a bit of an interview process and getting through that. But when you got that call, what did you think?
Oh God. I had already, I was already in My Hero for Deidoro Sakaki in season 4.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I can do anime was my first thing, right? I mean, I had done some before, but I think I was I had done some before. So I was already kind of making my way through the anime space. And at first when I was Sakaki, I was like, okay, well, I was in My Hero. I can say I did that, and that's really cool. I'm happy with that. Not a lot of people get to be in My Hero at all. So I was just honored to take up space in that world in any way, shape, or form. Then Hawks happened, and I was like, oh God, how are people I'm a nobody. How will people accept this? What will people think when it's me? Will I sound cool enough? Well, will I sound what people want for this character? And my director Colleen, she was like, he's a big one, so get ready. So I just studied a lot. I was practicing a lot. I was reading the lines out loud. I was reading the manga out loud a lot. Yeah, there was a lot of worry and anxiety. It was like happiness. It was like, whoa, oh no, so yeah, but I put 150% in. I really wanted to leave a good impression.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, and kind of, you've done video games, you've done live action, you've done a little bit of you've done lots of voice acting as well. Does the transition between those, does it affect your acting style? Does it affect how you're going to approach your role? Does you have to reset your mindset when you're going between something like DJ and Hawks?
Not. I mean, something like character changes, yes. But usually, when you've played a character for enough time, and they usually play references for you too, so so your body can remember what it feels like to be that character. And so, playing Hawks has certain physical mannerisms that I do that allow me to sort of get in the space and the mindset and the character of Hawks. Just like DJ has certain body things I do with my body, subtle things I try to be bigger when I'm playing DJ, so he sounds like he has a bigger voice. where I try to be cooler and more laid back when I'm Hawks, so his voice can sound laid back. So I try to incorporate all the elements of every acting style I've learned. So I try not to approach them differently because I want the same quality of work to be across the board from what I do. But there are different sort of kind of activations I try to do to get into each character.
Yeah, and I suppose last question for you, because I appreciate you've got loads of people who really want to see you. Western animation, so Young Justice, Big Stone Snowball, fantastic role.
Thank you.
Versus anime. Do you think there's a kind of cultural difference between the shows, or do you think they get...
Sometimes. I think it's all in the storytelling. I think like there are some anime that is intended to be wacky and not lighthearted and sillier. And like just like how Western animation does. And there's some Western animation that's intended to be really complex and nuanced and deep. That like just like anime, but I think some of the biggest ones are in the storytelling, the actual story. I think anime tends to be a bit more metaphorical and symbolic, with like the way they tell a story, right? Like My Hero is sort of this sort of look at and sort of analyzation of hero and hero culture for superheroes, right? And like. And you compare that to a show like Young Justice, which is more of a character show. It's this deep analyzation of each character as they're growing older and like taking on this like role of sort of following after their I don't want to say they're superiors, but they were the sidekicks who formed their own team and sort of was not competing, but you know, like they were doing the things that the Justice League couldn't. And so it's always like a cool angle that like but a lot of it's in like the storytelling and how those stories are told, you know?
And the character growth
across character growth. Yeah, those are the biggest differences, I think.
Zeno, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much.
I hope you enjoyed your experience in the UK.
I'm having a great time. Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we'll see you over here again soon.
Hopefully. Oh, I just like kissed the mic. Hopefully.
Been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on Geeky Brummie this issue. Thank you very much to AnimeconUK for giving us said studio for us to do our recording, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you were here and saw us, I hope it says fine. Don't forget Birmingham Anime Film Festival, where we had a few films screening. It is back September, October this year. More details on the back website coming soon. Keith, where can we find you online?
You can find me now, even though I forget myself, just as Hardbook Hotel everywhere. No underscores anymore.
You got rid of the underscore?
I got rid of the underscore, yeah.
You know that's broken like 8 years worth of tweets now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought it was only fair to give it back to Elon. You know, you can have the underscore back, Elon. It's about time.
Did you trade him for our likes? Was that what it was? You said I can have my underscore, but you got to private my likes.
Yeah, that's what the deal was. Yeah. So just Hardbook Hotel everywhere, and then regularly on Wednesdays I pick my comics of the week. Well, comic of the week usually,
With
just the
more
one.
comics, yes.
And with more comics that I'm reading, and no way to stop. And then some others that I'm picking up in digitals or trades, because there's only so much money and so much room in the world for comics.
And comic news in the meanwhile section as well?
Yeah, occasionally when there's something good and juicy, there's a new piece, particularly for British-based stuff like the Kickstarters or stuff that Rebellion, Treasury of British Comics putting out, or some of our friends and neighbours from around the area have got new comics coming out.
It's the first time I've ever heard paper-based items be called juicy.
Well,
that's if you left them in the bag too long, maybe.
That's why you bag and board them.
Leigh, how about yourself? Where can we find you online?
You can find me on YouTube at Pop the Pet Ferret and on Twitter at The Cheek Ferret. I also do a bunch of freelance writing, primarily at Silicon Era. You can also find me on the Geeky Brummie website every Friday, mostly every Friday, doing games releases of the week, which I also pick a game of the week. But unlike Keith, I don't actually play every single game because there is not enough time in the day to do that. I just highlight what looks cool.
Cool. Thank you very much. You can find me at Ryan Parish on Twitter. You can find Geeky Brummie on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at Geeky Brummie. Don't forget our sister account, Geeky Games, on Twitter as well for the best of what's coming up in Birmingham and the local area, which is run by Mrs. Geeky Brummie. We thank her very much for her talents with that one. Don't forget there's the film roundup as well by Sam, who's not with us today, but that made us sound very fun. He's still with us.
He's no longer with us.
He's still with us. So is Matt. They're just not available today. But Sam does his film roundup on a Thursday as well, picking out the best new releases and trailer of the week. So you can pick that up for the Geeky Brummie website on Thursday.
Thank you for joining us for AnimeconUK here at Birmingham this weekend. It's been an absolutely fantastic few days. Really hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to follow us, like, subscribe, share, Geeky Brummie, etc. But we'll see you again next year.